Debate? More like duh-bate. On Tuesday, September 29th, President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden will share a debate stage for the first time in the 2020 presidential race. For political junkies, this is like the Super Bowl, Christmas, and your birthday all rolled into one, which, come to think of it, would probably not be all that fun because of all the junk food that you ate would make you barf, unless you like barfing. For the two candidates, the stakes really can't be any higher. Joe Biden enters the debate season. The two candidates will actually debate 3 total times between September 29th and October 22nd in the lead in the race. But he still needs a commanding debate performance to show that Donald Trump's attacks on his mental acuity and his age are entirely without merit. For Trump, the debates, and the first one in particular, are his last best chance to change the arc of this race from one focused heavily on his mishandling of the coronavirus pandemic to one focused on, well, literally anything else. Now, while all 3 debates matter, there's no question that the first debate matters most, for a few reasons. 1, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Will Rogers was right. Look it up, kids. It's an old reference. While Trump and Biden are already known by the voting public, how they present themselves in the first debate will influence how they are perceived by voters in the final weeks of the race. Here's another reason. TV ratings are always highest for the first debate, largely because of the curiosity factor of seeing both candidates on stage battling it out for the first time. The first 2016 debate between Hillary Clinton and Trump was the most watched debate ever, with 84 million people tuning in. So this first debate is a big deal, one of the only events between now and November 3rd that could actually change the shape of this race, which makes winning it critical to both candidates, and I'm going to tell you how they can do just that. Rule number 1 to win a debate: win the expectations game. Right, so some of the most important work toward winning a debate actually happens before either candidate ever steps on stage. Take 2012, when Mitt Romney was regarded as the inferior debater to President Barack Obama. Obama seemed to believe the press about his skills and Romney's lack thereof and came out very, very lackadaisical. Romney, on the other hand, was energetic and informed. He repeatedly bested Obama in the debates back and forth. As CNN's Maeve Reston wrote of the debate, quote, Obama was contemptuous of the whole exercise and surprisingly unprepared to rebut the shape-shifting of his opponent, who suddenly morphed from the severely conservative governor who skated through the Republican primary to the kind of Massachusetts moderate any swing voter might fall for, end quote. Obama himself admitted he had done poorly in that first debate.
Well, Governor Romney had a good night. I had a bad night.
Rule number 2 to win a debate: look the part. Now, these debates are made for TV events, which means that simply knowing your stuff when it comes to policy isn't always enough to ensure a win. Voters tune into these debates to see which of the candidates they can imagine actually being president for 4 years. They're looking for which candidate has the confidence, the command, and yes, the presence to lead the country and represent its interests on the world stage. Don't believe me? Go back to the most famous first debate of all time, the 1960 affair between John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon. It was the first debate ever to be carried live on national TV, and Kennedy was judged to win it largely because he looked healthy and confident as opposed to the sweaty and 5 o'clock shadowy Nixon. Sidebar, as someone who sweats a lot and has a permanent 5 o'clock shadow, I feel you, Dick Nixon, and sidebar. And voters choose a president on much more than a set of policy positions. They want someone who they can imagine actually being president and being on their TV screens for the next 4 years. Rule number 3 to win a debate: be ready to make a moment. Although these debates run 90 minutes, they're usually remembered for a single exchange between the candidates or a single line or a single gesture. Al Gore sighing on camera during George W. Bush's answers in the 2000 debates. Gerald Ford claiming wrongly,
"There is no Soviet domination of Eastern Europe,"
in his 1976 debate against Jimmy Carter. Michael Dukakis responding robotically to a question about whether he would support the death penalty if someone raped and murdered his wife in a 1988 debate. Now, the master of understanding the importance of a single moment and seizing on that moment was Ronald Reagan. In his 1980 debate against the incumbent Carter, Reagan, who's an actor by training, got off several lines that are still relevant in our political vernacular. He asked the audience,
"Are you better off than you were 4 years ago?"
When Carter tried to attack him on policy, Reagan chided him with,
"There you go again."
4 years later, as he was running for a second term and his advanced age was being made an issue by his Democratic opponent, Walter Mondale, Reagan turned a negative into a positive with a single line.
"I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and inexperience."
So take one big step back. The best presidential debaters understand that these events are performances rather than simply dry recitations of policy positions. What you say matters, of course, but how you say it and how you look saying it matters too. And that is the point. We make new Point episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Make sure to check them all out.